Morning guys, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the first of two live streams today, and actually potentially more than two, but we're just going to go with the base assumption that it's two, split across maybe this morning right now and one in the afternoon. So this is the Ahn Rho Project. Welcome back to the self-therapeutic multimedia project for me to solve the problems and challenges in my life, as well as the self-improvement process for me to reach the heights and goals I set for myself. And so that is a very short synopsis. It involves subseries, domains, and analogies, and those are all different abstract ways, abstract concepts that are related to this a survival game of sorts, this sort of time record to look back on 30 years down the road, this sort of business analogy, and applied to personal life. It's a whole bunch of things, and the Ahn Rho Project, of course, has many subseries, the current one of which you're watching right now. Again, taking a look at the title, take a look at the screenshots we have here before us, and as well as in the backdrop, you can't see very much of it. What you see is what you get. What you see in the title, what you see up here, is going to be about tasks. TKS, that is one of the sub-series that I'm running as a part of the Ahn Rho Project, and it's dubbed that for, it's really an analog for, an abbreviation for task killing spree, and that's really me just saying, this is a highly just productive, focused, utility-focused stream, and it does get very rigorous and a little bit tedious because obviously if I'm going to be running through all the tasks, you're not going to see me actually move around the room like I usually do. We're going to save that for maybe today's second stream, which is going to be a logistical review. That is that's a different type of sub-series where I actually am very physical and I move about the room, trying to sort things out, throw away waste, take a look at my business, probably take a look at my work-related materials, take a look at my relationship stuff, and go about physically moving around. TKS is a very abstract stream because you take a look here, we're going to be focusing on the executive and management. So with that being said, of course, that's a very short synopsis of the Ahn Rho Project. I've missed several things for sure, and I should just deep dive into what we have to cover today. So one of the things I actually wanted to cover in this first of two live streams today is, the whole mess. I believe it's up here in one of these, I think it's this top one. So on this top left-hand side, you see 01 system method. And so having over maybe say 150 things to do, from relationships to employment to finance to volunteering to so on and so forth, I found it incredibly difficult to manage. And since the Ahn Rho Project is supposed to focus on all these things all at the same time, because life is a bitch, right? It doesn't really give a damn about you, let's be honest, right? It just, if it's time to happen, a crisis will fall on your shoulders and you just have to pick up the slack and take up the responsibility. So the fact is, for the past 3 months, of course, one of my guardians has fallen severely ill, and I tried to take care of her, so I'm sort of like a caregiver right now. I also mentioned that there are a lot of relationship issues with my colleagues at my workplace that I'm trying to maintain. I haven't been able to be there for them, and that's my responsibility. And that's because also at the same time I'm running this side business that's not this Ahn Rho Project. Okay, so there's that too. And all this coming together really means 0.1 means I have to reorganize the way I do things on the Ahn Rho Project. Since the Ahn Rho Project is this project that focuses on taking all of these different domains of life and combining it in one, I've noticed that my live streams are not covering enough content. That's basically what I'm saying. In the two live streams that I'm going to have today and the afternoon, I do it daily, but even then, there are certain kinks and certain things I'm doing that very obviously are holding me back. I'm not practiced in management. I'm using words that take too long I'm speaking too long about one subject. And oftentimes things are not organized in any efficient fashion for me to just go straight to the heart and take care of them, each one by one. And so that's 01. We have a listing down here separated by the domains from projects to finance. You can see employment and business. We have them sorted out, so that's actually very well done. But at the same time, I notice it's still not good enough. It's still not good enough. And one of the main reasons is actually today I'm late almost, for past 2 months. And so urgency needs to put on a high priority list. But also, how am I going to incorporate urgency into each of my live streams? How am I going to make sure that it actually functions? Because I was sitting here lying on this bed right here for about 5 minutes trying to for about half an hour, and I actually fell asleep because I was so sleep deprived. I got only 4 hours of sleep yesterday. So how do I make this all work? Even just planning out what I have to cover on stream has been such a huge ordeal. Just looking at the title, I'm trying to cram in as much as I possibly can into a single live stream. And it's just not working out, right? So there's too much, and it's hard to coordinate everything into a single live stream. What should go into the first live stream A? What should go into the second live stream B? I can't tell what the priorities are, and especially not just what the priorities are, but how am I going to get it all done so that it all works out consistently and with quality standards. Because obviously, let's say this first live stream has an introduction that covers about 2-3 minutes at the beginning, then I lose 2-3 minutes to cover actual content. And then the second live stream is free from that, with the exception of take-home message, which can be done in about 30 seconds. And then I have to work about that and think about, okay, so I have a lot of abstract stuff in my life. Those are the domains of life covered in each sub-series of the Ahn Rho Project, from finance, employment, so on and so forth. So does it make sense to cover more abstract things at the first live stream? Well, that's what we're working with right now. And then the second live stream focuses on more physical stuff. And sometimes it doesn't work out like that. Many times you have to do physical things. There's this bag of business products, these client paperwork. There's grocery items there. There's some electronic devices, some purchases I need to make. There's some stuff about, maybe my brother's coming back. So my brother's coming back. That's an abstract thing. He's always not here. I can't show him on camera. But at the same time, there's these things here that are full physical items, material possessions I need to show on camera, and I have to be moving about on stream, sometimes off stream. I need to know what I need to do on stream, what I need to do off stream, what can be covered in the first stream, what can be covered in the second stream, how much time I have to allocate for each. And I also know at the same time that I cannot overplan at the same time. I can't overthink this, because oftentimes, too much thinking results in no action. And so it's just a huge mess. And that's probably the single most urgent thing that needs to be discussed in this first TKS. It's actually an amalgamation of all these different tasks combined together, even though it's listed as 0.1. Technically, I'm covering a major problem from all of these domains. Now, you can see on the first these two screenshots on the right-hand side, this one's actually, the one in the middle is just an older version of the one on the left. And the one on the furthest right is actually a completely different task list. Now, what I will say is that, of course, we have clearly a lot of things that are of low priority but are easy to finish first, and a lot of things that are heavy tasks that take a long time to work through. And what it seems like I want to cover in the first stream, a new update, is that, the great thing is I actually this time found a way to work out at least what I'm going to cover just by looking down. Usually I don't have a template of what I'm going to write, what I'm going to speak about each stream. I just have to memorize off the bat. What I'm going to do is, especially if I can, for a task killing spree series, task kill spree down here, I can copy and paste the titles down here. So it seems to me I was covering thinking, right? Thinking too much is not helpful, but I do have to think about this and plan it out, how everything is all, this whole entire system, this network of 150 different variables in life. Really, there's more like 10,000 variables, but you work it down to, you group them together into clusters. So let's say friends, colleagues, relatives, co-workers, fellow volunteers, and your manager and cousins. All these are grouped into one larger domain of life called relationships, but all of those are smaller variables, right? Each of those different types of groups of people are different variables, for instance. And then, not to be, so robotic about it, but at a management level, you do have to be very efficient, and that's the way to work about it. So down here, I wrote down the system, plan, right? Planning, acting, and then action is very important. Obviously, I'm going to save that for the second live stream, but the important thing is that I can't just think about these things. Half the time, there are a lot of things I have to do off stream, obviously. Most of the stuff that I do cannot be covered on stream anyways. There's only a tiny sliver. But whatever that can be covered, should be covered, I have to know how to do it and have it planned out. And then there's some stuff that it seems to me it makes sense. All right, so I have down here the hashtag. It's reminding me that on this stream I want to talk about people and meetings and appointments. So today I have 2 meetings, one with my cousin, and I'm going to give him the product at the back here. I talked about that in a previous live stream, so that's perfectly fine. We got that done and over with. about how I made a mistake, right? And basically, there were 2 books that I forgot to include in there, but I'm going to include it there, and that's going to be fine. I'm probably also going to put the invoice in there. That's something that I actually forgot to do, but that's probably pretty important. I'm going to give in the invoice as well after this stream ends. It's actually under that paper stack, which again we covered in a previous live stream. And then, of course, I also have another meeting with someone on my business team, of course, and I have this maybe every couple weeks or so, or maybe once on a bi-monthly schedule or something like that. I will go see my team member, and we'll just work together on some kinks and learn about how to do things more efficiently and how to grow. More importantly, what's the next step, and set some goals and work towards those goals, and so on and so forth. And she's going to teach me some stuff too. But it's really a team effort, and that's nice. I had to see her, and so that may be consuming about another 2 hours of my time. Of course, then there's after that, I also have to pick up some more groceries, which at the back there you can see that groceries. Those are things I had to cover in the next live stream, which is happening in the afternoon, I'm assuming. So that's yesterday's batch of groceries. I actually ran out of food, and it was imperative that I got something. So we're going to cover all those things, and the financing and how much I spent. And then of course we have after that, so I have to meet one person, and then I have to meet someone from a team, and then I have to go out there and grab some groceries. We're gonna eat out, okay, first of all with my cousin. So that's definitely something that has to. I have to also note down the budgeting, the fine, how much it's going to cost me there, and save it for income tax. So the groceries can be free from that, but I can't do that with the obvious meeting thing that can actually be claimed for. Another thing that after that happens, I would have to come back and do all that kind of administrative stuff, and then suddenly I have to speak with my guardian. So like I said, I'm trying to take care of them, and the situation has improved greatly, and we're very happy to know that. We're very thankful that it's not as severe as we once thought it was, but there's still a long way to go, and there are still some things I need to fix up, especially in the second live stream I might talk about it too. There was some odd misunderstanding during a birthday, so that there is that too, and that got mixed in and with some domestic household issues for lasting maybe about 3 decades. So there's that. Okay, but then I still also want to cover some gifts that they got me too. They got me some gifts, a nice tiramisu cake. So that's something to cover in the next live stream. And at the same time, if this all manages to get done, all the physical running about, getting a service appointment, seeing this person, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to be back here in this room, maybe about in the afternoon, and I'm going to be trying to catch up with one of my colleagues from university, and she hit me up over Facebook over a month ago, and I swear I messaged her yesterday, and I said, I'm busy, and hey, so what's up? What's going on? And I haven't replied since yesterday, so there's that too. So that's going to happen. Of course, I still have to do all the office work and stuff like that. Yesterday, I was actually trying to punch out learning how to edit music, because I know that's lacking for my streams, but also I use certain instrumentals when I'm working. It's a very fast-paced work environment, and certain last stream I wasn't there. Last week I wasn't there, sorry, with my colleagues, right, as much as I should have, and so I was working on something, trying to fix some music things, trying to do some administrative stuff, trying to back up some documents, do some scanning of some electrocopies. Moving all this on the previous live stream was a huge mess. I had all this stuff here that I need to fix, especially the stuff down here, all that product and stuff, all this stuff here. Man, it was just man, like that too. So with that being said, this is the first live stream today, and I think we're gonna call it wraps because I don't have enough time to cover more, but that's okay. We covered substantial amounts of stuff. And a second live stream, of course, later today, we're actually gonna be moving around, and these, we'll have some photographs as well. So we're getting back into putting some photographs. But these screenshots here are going to disappear. And one thing I should probably try also is to start YouTube Studio. I should mention in this live stream, start YouTube Studio before I do the live streams on my laptop too. So maybe that'll improve the algorithm or SEO. So that being said, see you next live stream. This is Ahn Rho signing out.